From knowledge to execution, thinking through the entire deal. As we conclude Chapter 5, we now bring everything together into real-world application. At this point in the course, you have learned contract structure, timelines, negotiation strategies, risk management, property types, lease analysis, and financing. This final section is about applying all of those concepts at the same time, just as they occur in a real transaction. A successful commercial real estate professional does not think in isolated sections. Instead, they evaluate the entire deal holistically, understanding how each component impacts the others. This section represents the transition from learning to execution. Breaking down a commercial deal. Step by step. Every commercial transaction follows a general flow, but each deal has unique variables that must be analyzed. A complete deal analysis includes property type and intended use, income and lease structure, financing and capital stack, contract terms and contingencies, risk factors, and exit strategies. For example, when analyzing a retail center in Phoenix, an agent must consider tenant stability, lease terms, financing feasibility, and market conditions, all at the same time. This approach ties directly back to every chapter in this course. Case study: multi-tenant retail center. Let's walk through a real-world scenario. A buyer is interested in purchasing a multi-tenant retail center in Chandler. The initial review shows strong rental income, but deeper analysis reveals one anchor tenant has a lease expiring within 12 months. Several tenants have co-tenancy clauses. Maintenance costs are higher than expected. The agent advises the buyer to extend the due diligence period, require estoppel certificates from all tenants, renegotiate the purchase price based on risk. Because the agent applied contract knowledge, lease analysis, and risk management, the buyer avoids overpaying and structures a stronger deal. Case study: vacant land development opportunity. In another scenario, a buyer is considering purchasing vacant land in Buckeye for a future development project. The analysis reveals zoning does not currently allow the intended use, utilities are not yet available, environmental testing is incomplete. The agent structures the contract to include extended due diligence, zoning and entitlement contingencies, environmental inspection requirements. This ensures that the buyer is protected while exploring the development opportunity. This example highlights how land transactions require a completely different strategy than income-producing properties. Identifying deal strength versus deal risk. One of the most important skills in commercial real estate is the ability to quickly assess whether a deal is strong or risky. Strong deals typically include stable income and reliable tenants, clear title and compliance, realistic financing timelines. Risky deals often include unverified financial information, short or unstable lease terms, aggressive timelines, or limited contingencies. For example, a property with strong tenants and long-term leases presents less risk than one with vacant space and uncertain income. Recognizing these factors allows agents to guide clients more effectively. Decision points: knowing when to move forward or walk away. Not every deal should move forward. Part of being a skilled agent is knowing when to advise a client to proceed and when to recommend walking away. For example, if due diligence reveals significant environmental issues or financial instability, the best decision may be to cancel the contract. This ties directly back to contingencies and timelines from Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. A good deal is not just about closing, it is about making the right decision for the client. Negotiation adjustments based on findings. As new information is discovered during due diligence, negotiation strategies often need to be adjusted. For example, a low appraisal may lead to price renegotiation, lease issues may require seller concessions, financing challenges may require timeline extensions. This demonstrates how negotiation is not a one-time event. It continues throughout the transaction. Agents must remain flexible and responsive to changing conditions. Real-world problem solving. The agent's true value. The true value of a commercial real estate agent is not just in writing contracts, it is in solving problems. Every transaction presents challenges, and the ability to navigate those challenges determines success. For example, if a lender delays financing, the agent may negotiate an extension. If a tenant issue arises, the agent may restructure the deal to address the concern. This problem-solving ability is what builds trust and long-term client relationships. Professional judgment, the final layer of expertise. At the highest level, commercial real estate requires professional judgment. This means applying knowledge, experience, and critical thinking to each unique situation. Agents must evaluate risk versus reward, short-term versus long-term impact, client goals and priorities. This level of decision-making goes beyond contract knowledge. It requires a comprehensive understanding of the entire transaction process. Completing Chapter 5, From Theory to Practice. Chapter 5 has taken everything you have learned and applied it to real-world scenarios. You now understand how property types, leases, financing, negotiation, and risk management all interact within a transaction. This marks a major milestone in your development as a commercial real estate professional. As we move into Chapter 6, we will shift into final integration, compliance mastery, and advanced professional practice, bringing the entire course together into one complete and actionable system. Online discussion. Why is it important to analyze a commercial deal as a whole rather than focusing on one aspect? Answer: because every component, leases, financing, property type, and contract terms, affects the overall outcome, and focusing on only one area can lead to missed risks or opportunities. What is a key indicator of a risky commercial deal? Answer: unverified financial information or unstable lease terms are strong indicators of increased risk. When should a buyer consider walking away from a deal? Answer: when due diligence reveals significant risks that cannot be mitigated, such as environmental issues, financial instability, or legal concerns.